So I shoved pre with ace king offsuit, and some dude snapped called me with pocket kings. And we're gonna make our way to that hand, but we got some stuff to go over before we get there. Now this one's gonna run for about 15 to 20 minutes. So what I want you guys to do is kind of sit back, enjoy yourselves, grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, maybe some coffee, and I'm gonna break some things down. Now, if this is the first time, coming to the channel, I've been playing for a couple decades at this point. I play every single week. I've been doing this, like I said, for so long. And the way I approach playing is not really to use a strategy or style like GTO or ABC or whatever. It's really just to outplay the opponents at my table. And when you think about it, this all comes down to a couple things. First, you want to make good decisions when you're playing. And the second thing is you got to make plays against opponents, right? Especially as you move up in stakes, you're going to be playing against better players, and you can't just use the same approach. So you got to throw those bluffs in. You got to mix things up. You got to stay unpredictable, and that's what's really going to be the unlock. Now, we do have an awesome community where you can talk to me one-on-one as well as some other high-level members if you're trying to take things a little bit more seriously. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you just need some advice. That's going to be in the pinned comment. Also, you guys can tap the like, and, let's just make our way into this. Now, for the most part here, I was playing pretty tight to start things off. I think that most of you could agree, sometimes when you're playing, you just kind of get into a spot where, it's kind of like do or die, and that's kind of where we got to with the ace king versus king situation. But like I said, it's going to come up a little bit later. We're going to segue into that because just some interesting plays that I made here. All right, so we had a queen three suited in the big blind. Obviously I'm going to make a call here. We're going to see a flop. We're in the big, and this is usually a call unless somebody like re-raises crazy here. Otherwise, yeah, we're definitely not going to be folding this in the big. And I think player one is going to open here. Now, let's take a look at everyone at the table. Player two is doing pretty good right now. Everybody else is kind of just where they're at. Yeah, player two is having a good day. Props to you, sir. Okay, and not a terrible flop. A lot of good runner cards we could get here. Even if we miss the flush on the turn, I mean, we could still get a 10 or a king that would give some straight possibilities, but obviously the diamonds are looking pretty good right now. Probably putting player one on some type of ace X at this point, maybe some, well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm putting him on. Anyways, I'm just going to make a call here. I don't see a reason to raise this at all. There is an ace out there. Turn card was a 9, which was really one of the worst cards we could have seen. It paired the board. At this point, if player one went for it, went again at it pretty large, I would have probably ended up folding, but he let us get there. River card was a 4. Now, unless he's playing something really sneaky like pocket jacks or pocket aces or something, I think we're pretty good here a lot of the time. So I'm going to go for some value here. We went with the 39 piece, pretty standard. I think this was a good sizing to get a lot of ace X's to call. You might also have some jacks call there, making it, because, I mean, there's a lot of draws that missed. But he folded it. No idea what he had. Maybe he had, like, king, queen, or king 10 or something, and none of it got there. I mean, it's possible. That's really all I could think of at this point. But whatever. We took it down, and we progress. All right, 7-3 off. It's going to be mucking this one. All right, player two re-raise. Like, he's playing pretty good, right? Sometimes you want to stay against some of these dudes that are doing pretty good. But look at this. Player one coming over the top here. So player one's saying he's got aces, kings, really. That's what I would be putting him on. Not really ace, king. I think aces or kings. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Turn card was another heart. No idea what player two's got. I do wonder if player two has just kind of got himself in a bad spot here. I mean, the flush got there. Player one is not stopping, though. Let's see what player two does. All right, player two raised. Let's see if player one... I feel like player one's committed himself. He's got ace king versus 10. Wow, that was really weird. Okay, that was super weird. I don't know why 10's raised there. Player two must have had some crazy read right there. Now, player one, looking at that, like, when he re-raised pre... like I said, I was definitely feeling more like aces or kings, but, he overplayed ace king there and kind of got himself in a spot right there. I think a better Well, actually, I don't know. I think it would have resulted the same. I was gonna say if the guy with ace king right there, player one, would have just like shoved on that flop, maybe player two folds, probably not. I don't know. Maybe though, maybe. But it was weird, you know? Definitely weird. Player two, man, doing his thing. Wow. All right, so here we go. I think we got another big one coming up here. And we do. A lot of stuff going on in this one for sure. We're not involved yet. We're going to get there, but there's still a lot of stuff going on. All right, player three is going to go for the 80 piece here, back over to player six. So I think just called this. Let's see. Maybe he raised. I mean, you got some draws out there, I guess. Player six, look at that. Wow, look at that. King 10. Oh, wow. All right, so player six, wow. That was something right there. I mean, player three, I can't really blame him for that, but that was a lot of ways player six could get there, and he did get there on the river. That was something, guys. Anyways, we got a 7-5 suited here. We got to play this one. I prefer 7-5 to be spades, but we got the hearts this time, so it is what it is. Player six is going to continue here pretty large, pretty easy fold for us. And, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Like I said, we would have had a flush draw. It was just a little bit tight to start things off here. Now I folded this ace five. I could have opened with it, but I didn't want to. If it was suited, I would have, but, I think it's fine. Hope you're still with me because it's about to get real good here. Okay, brings us up to kind of the moment here. We have ace king offsuit in the big. Now ace king, I do say this quite a bit. I've checked my own stats on this, and when it's suited, it works out a lot better. All right, I'll say that because when it's suited, you still crack aces and kings hitting flushes. When it's offsuit, sometimes not so much. But I did commit myself on this one, and I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. I think let's say player two raised here. No, all right, player three is, I think, going to raise, and then player four is going to re-raise. And we got ace king. Do we re-raise again, or do we just go for a shove now? That's kind of the question, right? We know it's a button raise. That player three could have anything, but when player four re-raised, we could be putting him on maybe some not low, mid pocket pairs, maybe like tens, jacks, queens. You've also got some other ace kings, ace queens suited type of stuff. Those are the things that I'm thinking here. Not really putting on player four on aces or kings. The reason being is, we're blocking both of those hands. You still run into them. It does happen, but, the fact that we are kind of blocking, made me a little bit more confident to do this. So we are going to go for it here. Now, to my surprise, player three is going to be the one that calls us. And as soon as he made the call, I knew we were going to be in bad shape, I was just thinking player three was doing a button raise here and player four was, just juicing it up. But, what else can I say? I just knew we were in trouble when player three made this call. Obviously, I slowed this down so I could just kind of go over my thought process on it. But, yeah, no, I don't really regret this play. It is what it is. And, truthfully, I think this would have happened the same. I would have re-raised this. Player three probably would have re-raised, and then it would have ended up the same if player four didn't do this. Player four, I was actually thinking for a second player four might call this, which would have made the pot real big. But whatever he's got, he's going to end up letting it go. And hope you're ready for this, man. All right, here comes the flop. We were just praying for an ace at this point. Looking real bad. Plus, he's got hearts, so hearts are possible for him now. Queen on the turn, and we just need the ace. And I could not believe it. We got it. I could not believe it. That was brutal. And you know what? I feel for player three because that's just variance. It's just part of it. you know, the roles could have been reversed there. I could have had kings, he could have ace king and took us down. But, you know, I'm definitely happy to see variance on our side in that one. And I'll tell you what, that was just something. And if you guys could just tap that leg for me after seeing that, man, I'll tell you what, that's what I'm talking about right there. Anyways, we got a few more hands to go over here. I just want to say one more time, like, if you're enjoying the stuff here, obviously subscribe, but more importantly, man, it's time to get in the community, right? You can talk with me, like I said, one-on-one. We got other high-level members, you know, always playing, been doing this for a couple decades. I will continue. I will continue that trajectory. I'll always be around, and, you know, it is what it is. All right, anyways, like I said, a few more hands if you guys want to watch them. And if you made it to the end, man, tap that like. Thanks for watching it, and we'll see you in the next one.